Inside Man had me so scared that I was watching The Cell accidentally. So there's your mention.
Yes.
There's your mention.
Wait a second. There's still enough time for me to change one of the months. Who wrote The Cell?
No.
Yes.
Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Pointless Discourse with myself, Hoppocalypse, and Itisdpayne.
I'm inside. Hello.
I don't have a good segue from that. I did not expect that to be what you said, so take it away.
I'm inside. That's right. I also know about war crimes.
I'm not really usually... Okay, fast forward. Hello, welcome to another episode of the series where we watch legendary directors, to which we got an email, and I read the email, and I was
yes.
like, Itisdpayne didn't message me about this email, so I'm guessing that we're not responding to this email.
I forgot. I read the email, and that's as far as I got.
Yeah, that's totally fine.
But
it was the most personalized email we've ever gotten.
I know, which I was like, oh. I was also at work, and so I forgot about it. We can talk about it after the recording.
I think it's fine. I think it's fine
Okay.
where it lands. But in any case, yes, we're watching a bunch of movies. This month we're still watching through Spike Lee movies. We have recorded 2 previous episodes where we watched Do the Right Thing and Malcolm X. So now we're watching Inside Man. And hence Itisdpayne saying he's on the inside, and if you're watching via video, covering his face.
Yeah.
I am not usually a fan of any kind of like back and forth movie, I guess is how I would label them, because I know a lot of people really liked a couple home invasion movies are very popular, like The Strangers, I think it's called, and then also there's one on Netflix where it was a deaf woman and there's someone that like breaks into her home and they're like
Helen Keller Harsh sword.
cat and mousing it. But it's not a genre I really like, so when I started Inside Man I went, oh no. But I was surprised that it was more than just like side A versus side B, I guess is how I'll put it. I think a little bit too many threads at a certain point, but
yeah,
like Jodie Foster's character, like whatever.
I was like, what? Like, okay.
What does she add? I don't know.
Yeah. While watching this, I'm like, because I've only watched the other 2 Spike Lee films. This felt like a project he was like, here, do this for money.
It is written by somebody else, but there are Spike Lee moments in it.
There is one very like Spike
very
Lee. I was like, oh, it's here. It's like, man, where the segue was born. But yeah, there are stuff. There are like not moments, but I can tell that it was directed by Spike Lee. But, like, since the other 2 movies, like, he either had part in the writing or at least planning of it.
Or he was in it.
Yeah. I was waiting for him to honestly up. Like, I was waiting for it. I didn't see him. If he did...
I didn't.
I was like... I honestly was waiting for him to be, like, just a cop in the background. Actually, what I could have seen him doing was... If he wasn't Denzel's partner, he would have been that guy's like, that's Albanian. But that or being the boy's son or the boy's father.
Yeah. Yeah, I could have seen him sneak himself into those roles. But yeah, when I looked it up, I double checked because I was like, this plot doesn't feel very Spike Lee. But then it said that he was the director, but there was a different writer. So that was also an interesting way to kind of look at him as a director, where you can still see it's a Spike Lee movie, but it's also not what we watched in the previous weeks. Yeah,
it's not that, like, I don't want to start off in saying that it was a bad movie. Like, I thought it was
different than...
It was an entertaining movie. But when you watch projects, because all the Stanley Kubrick movies, he wrote or had a hand in writing and directing and all that stuff.
Or argued with the author, yeah.
Yeah. And the first 2 Spike Lee movies he wrote. Now, is the last one that we have, is that one he...
Yeah, so next week is Black Klansman, which is a much more recent one of his movies. Let's see, 2018.
Yeah, I saw him as a writer before.
He's listed as one of 4 writers on this, so that'll also be interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so...
Not head of cinematography, but did direct. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So... But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the last one. But we're not here to talk about that yet. We're here to talk about Inside Man.
Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
It is interesting seeing back-to-back weeks of us watching movies with Denzel Washington in like a super serious like biopic, and then him being like, "You thought you caught me? Ha! Oh, you caught me." And I'm like,
yeah.
"Oh, Denzel."
Yeah. It was 2 different roles, and it was fun. It was fun watching him do that, but yeah. But trying to think if there's any fun things to mention. Like, I can't think of it right now. I'm still thinking about how Verizon wants me to write them a check for 19 cents.
What a waste of everybody's time and effort.
Yeah, especially since I don't have checks. I have to go get a money order.
I know, like, I, at one point, had checks, and there was something I had to do for my house, and they're like, "We need a check." And I was like, "Can I get you a bank check?" And they're like, "Yeah, that works." I was like, "Okay." But I was going to say, the filtering on the flashbacks in Inside Man had me so scared that I was watching The Cell accidentally. So there's your mention.
Yes.
There's your mention.
Who... Wait a second, there's still enough time for me to change one of the months. Who wrote The Cell?
No.
Yes. The Cell.
You're really going to give up your birthday month? We have a perfect 4 movies. I think there's actually 5 movies for your birthday month in that series now.
Is there?
I think I saw, like, I was scrolling through, like, where to watch movies. Let's see.
No, there's 4. Monday
releases.
releases.
Oh, the main Legacy is the one that threw me off.
Well, this guy has directed 20 movies. Some of them are music videos. And a commercial.
Oh, they announced a 5 in 2023.
Oh, of the movie.
Of your current birthday month movies, yeah. Oh. If any of you have guesses for what the movie series may be, it's a full series.
It's a full series, yes.
D-Payne's birthday month.
It would be
that
fun.
That would be fun to see if anyone can guess it.
Yeah.
We have not watched anything in that genre yet.
I know I have mentioned it. I have, like, not recently, but I know I brought it up. I believe I brought this series up.
Oh, I'm sure you have. But yeah, so it's not an A24 movie. It's not a horror movie. Yeah, we've actually watched a lot of genres at this point.
Yeah. I will say it is a foreign movie. Mm-hmm. Let me see. I want to make sure I'm going to... Let's see. I'm like 99% sure where they're from, but I'm like, let me just make sure before I just say things. Okay. It is a Chinese movie.
Okay. I don't think we've watched any. We've watched Korean and Japanese movies so far, right?
Mm-hmm. I just found out there's 11 movies that are in this series.
Oh, like tangentially, or?
Yeah, they're not all by the same person.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. There's... Yeah. That fourth one in the picture you sent is a spinoff.
Mm.
And then... Oh, wait, I have watched that one. Okay, I gotta stop before I actually spoil it.
Okay.
Give the answers, so... But anyway, that's that. But we have, like, another month and a movie to go between there. And then we get back-to-back birthday months.
Oh, next month we're going to be watching a genre we haven't watched on the podcast either.
I was about to make a joke, and I'm like, none of these jokes are funny in my head. So, yeah, noir.
Noir films.
The
If
word
you guys
that I
want to
always
guess
feel
what
like
director we picked for Women's History Month and noir films.
once again, if you guys get that,
It'd be very...
we'll also be impressed on that, because
That's way more movie buff than I can ever... Like,
Yeah.
at this point, between our many, like, series of watching movies, we've probably watched well over 100 movies, and I feel like such a, like, movie novice. Like, I'll sit and watch a movie, like, watching Inside Man, I just went, big boom. Like, I didn't have anything to contribute.
Yeah.
Funny puzzle.
Well, they heard you. Yeah.
It was very funny watching Denzel Washington slam things on a table, and I was like, I know what he's looking for, but this is, like, extra.
Yeah. I was also waiting to see, like, as he was peeling the things, I'm like, I hope he didn't hurt his nails, but we can get to that. Yeah, that's what I thought about. But,
Right.
Shall we roll some dice to find out who's going to give a synopsis of Inside Man?
Yeah,
Oh,
because if this is your first time here while we were doing this series, we both like to play tabletop RPGs, so we like any excuse to roll dice. So we are rolling a 12-sided dice because we're watching 12 directors throughout the year, and whoever gets the highest number, I've decided. I think that's what
we've been doing, except for guests. I think we let the guest choose what it is.
So highest number gives a non-spoiler summary of the movie, and then we have a set of questions so that you can get a vibe for the movie, and then it'll go into spoiler town and you will be warned ahead of time.
Spoiler town's my favorite town. Also, I think you're giving the synopsis.
I would be surprised. I rolled a 2.
I rolled a 1.
Oh, I am surprised. We broke the streak of like guests, and now I'm back-to-back weeks.
Yeah. You're winning.
All right, synopsis of Inside Man. Bank robbery with deeper meaning. Watch cops deal a hostage situation, but deeper meaning. If I say anything else, it's a spoiler, isn't it?
I guess. Yeah, it's...
Okay, here's what I'll do. On the surface, this looks like a traditional heist movie where you have detectives trying to stop a hostage situation in a bank robbery. But as both sides are trying to understand each other, they uncover secrets that are unfortunately relevant today.
Yeah. You paused like while you were thinking, but I wasn't looking at Zoom, and I'm like, did your internet give out?
No, I just didn't want to spoil it, but
I understand.
I was surprised.
Yeah, no, I wasn't expecting the twist.
The pan over of the memorabilia, I went, that's
Yeah, it's like, huh?
I would really hate to be in the art department and they're like, oh, you're getting a part in a movie, you get to make props. It's like, oh, that's exciting. Can you make these? I'd be like, I don't want to do that.
Hey, it was the early 2000s. Everyone was okay with it.
What I will appreciate more than anything else about this movie, I'll just say it now in the non-spoiler talk, is that Spike Lee put in his little Spike Lee-ness where he was like, characters were racist, and his characters were like, don't be racist. Stop that. And I was like, good for Spike Lee. At least he still got like his core, you know, his core in there, because the part where the one guy had his turban ripped off and he's like, "Are you
Yeah.
serious?" And Denzel Washington's like, I'm not against you. I just got to figure this stuff out. I agree. It was messed up. They shouldn't have done that to you. I'm sorry they profile you at airports. But I got a bank to save." And the guy's like,
Yeah. All right. So you want to know? You want to know something real fun? All right. So Inside Man, the
Okay.
movie we just watched, came out in 2006.
Okay.
The writer, I clicked to see what else he wrote. He wrote 3 other movies.
Okay.
One called Righteous Kill. I remember hearing about that. Oh yeah, that's that mediocre De Niro Pacino film. A movie that I don't think is out yet. It doesn't have a release date. Called Switch and Bait. I'm like, I don't know if this is just like there's no post production, so it's not out yet. And then what came out in 2019 is that he liked Inside Man so much that he made Inside Man Most Wanted.
Without Spike Lee?
Yeah, it's a different director. And it looks exactly the same. I'm just except woman now doing crime. Hey, there was a picture of Denzel in the poster.
Yeah, in the the app that I was watching it through that had the movie did have Inside Man pretty highly rated, and I can understand. If this is your genre of movie, this isn't like, it feels like a new take on the genre versus the usual stuff.
Yeah, I'm like just looking at the trailer and I'm like, this looks exactly the same. I'm like, except now all the criminals are women's.
Women's, how dares they?
I know. I was trying to see if Jodie Foster was also in this. But I don't see that. Anyway. Enough of looking at that. But I guess a question for you is, if this was the only movie you watched of Spike Lee, would you watch the rest of their catalog?
No, and it's not the fault of the movie. It's not like the movie itself isn't good. I think I've already expressed that this is just not my genre of movie. Like, like if I guess not to like typecast directors, but I feel like a lot of directors tend to favor a certain style of things. And if I went in watching this not realizing that he wasn't the writer, I would have been like, oh, he probably just does a bunch of like bro-y movies like this, and that's not really for me. So I guess I would give it like a C minus. Like, if it's on in the background, I'd probably watch this, but I wouldn't seek out similar movies to this one. What about you?
I don't know. There was parts I enjoyed. I think I'd be hesitant to check it out. Like, it wasn't like brain just blanked out. It was a long day. What was the movie that we got? Do the Right Thing. It wasn't like that, or Malcolm X, where like it didn't leave me pondering or thinking or interested in watching more. This one was just like, this was, as I said, like, the movie is, there's definitely moments of just the way dialogue is given and the way it's shot that it feels Spike Lee, but the tone and the project as a whole feels like, hey, we needed some money. This is a job for money rather than like what we like.
Yeah, it's definitely
really
not a
wanna do.
passion project.
Yeah. Which, hey, like, you got to make your money somehow. Like, like, not everyone is just able to be like just
Full creative all the
Yeah.
time without anything, yeah.
So I think I would be hesitant because there are bank heist movies that I did enjoy, but it's not written like this. Like, the only one I can really remember, and it was years ago, and I don't remember much about it, but I remember enjoying I feel like any Jason Statham movie is a heist movie.
I think I've only watched like maybe part of one Jason Statham movie, and I do feel like I've watched them all. I don't like. I think the only other equivalent of like a heist movie that I found entertaining is like Taken, but I don't know if that's really a heist or just Liam Neeson beating people up repeatedly for 2 hours.
Uh, yeah, I don't think that would be a heist. A heist happens.
Yeah, a heist has taken place, and
Yeah.
then I mean, it's like I do like John Wick, but yeah, Taken and John Wick movies are more closely aligned than.
I
Like,
never watched John Wick, so
uh,
I hear good things, but I know about it. I just
yeah, I mean,
haven't
it's
got around to watching it.
Keanu Reeves beating people up because they hurt his puppy. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
valid.
And now he's Shadow the Hedgehog.
But I know there's the Strider says it's like watching Doom as a movie because of what Doom Marine's motivation is the demons hurt his rabbit. So very similar, like
The Doom movie?
no, Doom Marine, like in the video games, like Daisy the rabbit is his pet, and the demons hurt his rabbit, so that's why he wants to kill all the demons.
There's a.
So,
Oh, go ahead.
Strider was like, I joke, I was like, if anything happened to the rabbits, he's like, oh yeah, I do Marine people.
There's a Doom movie. The Rock's in it.
Yeah, I think I remember seeing screenshots.
The big hype about that was there was just a whole scene where I think they just, well, it wasn't OBS, it was probably Bandicam to like Doom 3, because that's like, it just felt like they did that, and like there was just a whole point where it's just like, oh, it's the video game, and it's just that literally all it was.
Oh.
but like they just filmed the end, and then The Rock came back, and then it's just like, oh, okay.
Oh, he's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't say that I've watched any video game turned movie. Like, I haven't watched any of the Resident Evil things or anything like that. Like,
The first one was okay, from what I remember. Like the first 3, I think were okay.
okay.
They're very much brain dead movies. Like once it's been a while since I watched it, but it's just like, I think it's after the 3rd one, then it's just like, or even the 2nd one, it's just like, all right.
Oh, I did watch the Last of Us TV show. That was good.
I didn't watch that.
I feel like a lot of video games do better in TV show format if they're like story-based games anyway, so.
Yeah. Speaking about video game characters and stories, how much did you root for the characters?
No. I like...
None of them?
This is another movie. This almost feels like a Spike Lee thing at this point. A bunch of unlikable people forced on camera together. Like, there were moments where I thought characters were funny or characters were interesting, but there was never a point where I was like, yeah, get them. Because they were all flawed.
Mm-hmm.
I was just excited for the downfall of the biggest baddie, I guess.
The Clive Owen.
No.
Bankman.
Yeah, I remember the actor's name, and it's like eluding me because he's also a famous actor in his own right.
Give me a second. I have the IMDb up right here. Arthur Case, Christopher Plummer.
Yeah, Christopher Plummer. Plummer.
Oh, I like how you pronounce it better.
Totally on purpose, yes. But yeah, I was just rooting for his downfall. So I guess I give this a C because like the detectives were interesting, the cops were inept. the actual people doing the heist had big egos. The bank people, I understand it's a stressful situation and you feel like, you know, you can't do anything other than complain, but like if I were in that situation, I would just like lay down and like never move again. Because some people were like, I'm tired of this. I was like, I understand, but also they have a lot of guns. Like the one guy who was trying to hide his cell phone. I was like, why did you bother?
Yeah, it's, I don't know. Like it's one of those things. Like, okay, what are you gonna try to be the hero, and then it's like, of course, like it's one of those things where a better argument probably could have been I left it in my office.
Yeah,
Rather
it's
than
not in
left
my
it at home.
pocket right now. Yeah.
Because that way, like, once again, not being in that moment and everything. But yeah. I'm trying to think if I rooted for anybody in the movie.
Yeah. Like, I think C is fair because they're all supposed to be kind of unlikable, so, like, the writing is fine. But it's hard for me to say, like, one way or the other. Like, there were moments I was like, I hope so and so beats up so and so. And then there are other moments where it's like, he could be taken down a couple pegs.
Yeah. It's, I don't know. I feel like every time I see William Dafoe in a movie, I just, like, always caught off guard.
He doesn't look like a normal person.
Yeah. It's because I think him and Christopher Walken got introduced to me at the same time, and I know they're not the same person, but in my
Okay.
mind I get the names mixed up, and so like I see
They're both weird looking guys,
yeah,
too. So.
but it's like William Dafoe, and I'm just expecting to be like just just having the other guy just said, I forgot his name already.
Christopher Walken.
Yeah, Christopher Walken, just like, hey, what are you doing? Just
Whenever
that's
I
a
think of him,
terrible
I
one.
think of the music video.
The music.
Have you seen that one?
I don't think so.
Let me see if I can look it up.
Could you imagine how different The Lighthouse would have been if it was Christopher Walken?
That would have been interesting. But I do like William
would've-
Dafoe.
Oh yeah, I do like William Dafoe. It's one of those movies I'm like, I think I want to give it another watch. But
I feel like this.
I've seen this clip. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, this is a whole music video. I forget who the artist is for, but yeah. So like when I just think of them, that's why I can't mix them up.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just reading the name, and I'm like, okay, and then I get them mixed up. But yeah, I'm trying to think. I agree. Like, there was parts where I'm just like, I think I was more like, okay, until like the third party got introduced. I'm just like, okay, let's see where this is gonna go. I want to see how they're going to, as you said earlier, play cat and mouse, and then it just was like, okay, and then I don't know, the interrogation scenes also felt weird. Like,
Yeah, I understood the point, but I also was kind of like, I wish they were interspersed a little bit later. Because I was just like, why are we yelling at this random person? And I was like, oh, eventually I get it. But it was just like,
Yeah. Well, it also would make sense why some of the stuff just felt weird. Is, according to the trivia here, the interrogation scenes were mostly ad-libbed. So that would probably be why it just felt
I did feel bad for
strange.
the old lady. You can leave.
Yeah.
No. you have to stay. No. I was
Yeah.
just like, she's just an old lady, guys.
And-
I don't know why we're bullying her.
Because it was 2006 where you could bully anybody.
And talk about boobs a lot.
Yeah.
I was very tired about boobs.
I'm just, yeah. It felt like so was the person who had them. Was tired of talking about them.
Take a picture if you like them so much. Oh, God. Sorry. Anyway,
It's all good.
I did not root for the interrogation scenes. I will say I did not like how they like felt. Like, I know interrogations are supposed to feel icky anyway because it's a like a shitty situation to be like forced into, and it's like high stress. But those were like, the ad lib makes sense because some of them were so awkward.
Yeah. Like, some felt a little bit like some of them felt like they could improv easier. Some of the scenes didn't feel like some of the act, like, it just felt like the grandma one was just like, here, grandma, here's your lines. Denzel and the other guy.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna try. Bill Mitchell, his Chiwetti Ejiofor. I'm butchering that name. Just they're gonna just play off each other and everything, and
just vibe it out.
yeah. So what grade would you give the plot?
I guess a B plus, because I didn't expect myself to finish it all last night. I thought I was just gonna like watch part of it and then like watch the other part today. But I was interested enough that I was willing to finish it. So I'll give it like I said, like a B plus.
Yeah, that's kind of where I was saying, like B minus probably, like in the B range. As I said, gave you the joke and was like, oh, do you still have to watch it? No. It wasn't a slight against you. I just know sometimes you watch them the day of.
It also helps me because sometimes, it's easy to like forget random little details when you watch them too far ahead. Because I haven't been taking notes we've been doing the series. Yeah. So the way that I make up for it is I watch them within 48 hours.
Yeah. No, some of these I'm like, I'm just here for vibes. We're not like, I'm going to try to pay attention more to the directorial stuff, and if the movie is interesting, then it wins. Which I feel like with a series called Legendary Directors, that's that's
you'd hope so.
Yeah. So how likely would you recommend this movie to others?
I think this is probably the most recommendable movie. Like I think it's a nice like touch of like Spike Lee movie, because while I think we said this in the other ones, as much as I'd love everybody to watch and fully understand the scope of Do the Right Thing and Malcolm X, I don't know that I can trust media literacy to do that well of a job. Whereas like this one is like a setting that most people are like, oh, this is interesting, but then you have the characters still discussing topics that Spike Lee would like people to acknowledge at the bare minimum. Like when Denzel Washington's interviewing the cop and he's like, yeah, can you get color out of your mouth? I was like, little quips like that are nice, like, introductions into what Spike Lee would like to do with his movies. And it's not as like, how do you say it? It's not as in your face. And when I say in your face, not for a good or bad way, but it's a lot more of a situation that I think people would probably run into day to day, where you casually hear someone say something and then you as a person can be like, no, don't phrase it like that. That's bad. That's weird. So I think this is the plot that I think people would not have to research. So I think it's an easy way for people to be like, oh, okay, that's a movie that like I understand the premise and can easily get into. But personally, when it comes to like, would I consider this a movie that I feel like people have to watch? No. But I think it's easy to recommend it to people. Like, it's definitely easy as a group watch. I know some of the other things we've talked about are like, how likely would you rewatch this with a group of people? I'd watch this again with a group of people. So I guess again, like B minus, kind of similar to what I gave the plot.
Yeah, I feel like I would also like same kind of thing. Like I think with a group of people, this would be a fun watch. Like just laugh and have fun with it, and just be like, oh, but unless you know what's happening. Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like this one would be a little bit easier to find. This feels like more of a wider reach, as you were saying, to be like, yeah, you might like it, you might not, but where it feels like with Malcolm X or Do the Right Thing, it's just not that a warning is needed, but it's just like, hey, if you're going in, like just not even be aware. Like, I'm trying to think of the right words to say, but
yeah, because it's like they're both movies that I think are important, but are not easy to watch, I guess is the thing. Kind of like watching Moonlight, like not to deter people from watching Moonlight, but also it can be triggering, or there's a lot of things that you might have to understand culturally and socially before like making judgments on the movie.
So this is much more of a like popcorn flick when you're just like, hey, you like, can shut the brain off.
Yeah, like I might have been playing video games during it, and I still got most of everything that I think I need to.
So, but yeah, like I think I would agree with recommending this to others. Like it's no sell, but hey.
That's definitely a movie that's in my list of to talk about. I know it lives rent free in your brain though.
You're the one that brought it back up. I wasn't even thinking about it.
But like the color gradation, do you see what I mean though? Like that weird fuzzy. Is that just a product of the early 2000s?
Probably. This film did feel like I don't know. There's some movies that come out and films that like you watch them later and you're like, oh man, that translated well to today. Then there's other movies that are just like, yeah, that was definitely of that time.
Yeah, it's like when I think about the film versus like digital, you know, it's a lot easier for people to be able to like edit and like do large swaths of filming on digital, right? Because you have, you know, at this day and age, massive like hard drives and things you can store things in, and there's software to help you edit. And then we watch Stanley Kubrick, we're like, it translates so well because film is infinitely like scalable.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to like have the back and forth between all of it.
Well, with that, it's time to visit Spoiler Town.
Choo choo. You have been warned.
Yes. I'm starting the timer where everything and nothing will all be mentioned. And here and beyond, we're entering.
I feel like I mentioned Stanley Kubrick, and now you have to speak in weird space riddles.
I was thinking of Twilight Zone. My brain was also thinking of a future month of David Lynch. So,
oh yeah, that's quite a bit.
That's quite a bit.
Rest in peace.
Yeah, rest in peace. And I don't know. Maybe depending on how David Lynch's month goes, we can do Twin Peaks.
At my horror book club, someone said that they were gonna finally give like Twin Peaks like a fourth chance because they were like, in honor of him, I'll try it again, even though it wasn't for me the first 3 times I watched it. And I thought that was a very like fun statement to be like, I've already tried it, I'm gonna do it again and again.
Yeah, we'll save David Lynch for David Lynch's month. Let's go to Spoiler Town. And we have left the station.
Choo choo.
I will say the one thing that I know I've mentioned in the past 2 Spike Lee films was the life that was shown. And one thing that I felt was showing that a lot was the cops. Like the way the cops were setting up, like the just them setting up and like closing everything off, where I'm like, this seems like like 30 seconds to a minute longer than it should be, but just like setting up the fences, getting the guard, like them set up,
all the tape, all the bus,
and then like going back and forth, but like with the shields in front of the window so no one gets shot, and like, so that was all fun. There was other parts like there's another scene that's a crane shot of like all the cops just like sitting there pointing their guns, and then there's like a diner just across the street, and you can see everybody sitting in there just talking and having a good time.
Yeah, because that's where they were doing their initial meetings and like waiting, right? Yeah.
Yeah. But like you have it was just the night and day difference between the cops that are all like stressing out, just watching the door, high alert, and then just behind them is what, like 6 to 8 firemen just standing there,
Waiting.
just like
Yeah.
BSing, just like yeah, just joking around. And so like there's just seeing those scenes, I felt like brought a lot of life to it. And then there was like the other scenes as well, like to show life besides what was going on, but I don't think it translated as much as that one scene, like as the beginning, like the restaurant stuff, because there's a couple different restaurant scenes. And so but the that was one thing I did notice. And then we did mention it earlier,
The camera,
yeah,
angry stare, like serious time. Locked in.
but yeah, so it was it was the Malcolm X, the floating scene, but on 2 times speed, as everyone's like, settle down, wait, come back.
Don't make a mistake. Oh, mistakes were made.
Yes.
I was a little upset that he didn't die. I understand, like, by the end of the movie they explained why nobody died, but like, if any cop made that mistake in real life, gone. Like, because I've seen like people talking about how they've had to like go undercover for like cartels and stuff. If you like breathe wrong, they're not scared to like, you know, make sure that you're not a fed. So it's just kind of wild. Like, I understand in the context of the movie, there's like a bunch of ulterior motives, but it's like he literally tackles him and tries to turn him into the police and does all this stuff, and then they're just like, we're cool. And I was like, are you cool? That didn't seem very cool.
Just get him out of here.
Just walk out the front door like, I will. That reveal was also very silly to me, because it's like, I know as the viewer we're given all the information, but like it feels almost like some of the books that I read sometimes where they're like, I remembered a detail from 400 pages ago. I'm like, I kept that in the back of my brain because that was a weird sentence. Of course it was weird. Him at home with his wife. I've unlocked the secrets. I'm like, okay.
Just like, whoa. But yeah, there's... I did like the... What was the line? It's like, oh, he's coming out today. He's got a smell. That's why we have the windows down.
Oh, yeah, it's been a whole week.
Yeah, just sitting out there.
I did think I haven't had this in a Spike Lee movie before, but I did have it on this one where I went, the movie isn't over, question mark? Because I know that's more for a twist, and it's not in the same feeling as like Stanley Kubrick, where it was like, this is the longest half hour of my life. But I was like, this feels like a very like decent ending. Why is there more movie happening?
Because now they got to tell you how bad people are.
Yeah, how evil the evil is, how smelly the smelly is.
Yeah. The one thing, and maybe I just missed it, that I know I was looking at, because like it starts off with Clive Owen in jail.
He's not in jail.
Oh, he's not in jail? Oh, wait.
He's in his hiding spot.
That's
he calls
right.
it.
Yes.
You think,
as I said, it was like, I'm like, wait a second.
You think he's in jail because he says, I'm in what you think is a cell.
Yeah.
And then they repeat it at the end. And I was just like, good for you for building a paper towel shelter, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. I like to. Like, I wish there was a scene of someone in the room and just was hearing him monologue the whole time, and it just.
And they turn around and go, "What is that?
What is going on?" Yeah.
Do we have like a radio feedback happening?
It's like,
are we listening to the Albanian president?
Yeah. So.
That was a very silly part.
No, but yeah, I do remember that now. My brain forgot where I was going next.
Did you feel a twist coming on, or were you kind of like, yeah, okay?
Like the twist that the dude was a Nazi? Or was helping Nazis?
Yeah, did you?
I made bad choices in my life. Yeah, you did, buddy.
And those aren't just some bad choices. Those are some
Um,
straight to jail choices.
yeah.
I wasn't necessarily speaking about that twist, but yeah,
Oh.
there's that. The other one was the him having the secret room. I didn't see it coming,
Yeah,
but
I
I
didn't.
also
It tells you right in
wasn't.
the beginning, like it tells you in the name.
Yeah,
He's
but I
like-
also like
yeah,
didn't care about the
That's-
reveal. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I was the same way. I'm just like,
Okay.
I'm just here for vibes, and then I was like, oh, okay, yeah, and I'm like, okay, that makes sense why they were doing construction.
Yeah, they're digging a hole and doing a whole
It was like,
plank boards
And
getting
then-
stapled up.
well, then they like dig a hole, and then it's just,
Is that his pooping hole?
yeah, they're like, that's a, like to quote them, that's a good shit hole, and they're just like,
I thought I caught that, but I wasn't 100% sure.
yeah,
Okay.
I was like, that's a weird sentence. I was like, okay, well, you guys.
Whatever you do with your hole.
I was like, yeah. So I'm like, all right. And so so they had that, and then, because like the whole thing makes it look like they're digging something up, and then
I thought they were digging a tunnel out of the bank,
yeah.
too.
Well, they say in the beginning it's just like, no, like we have eyes on the sewers, like, and they make you believe.
Oh, the cops say, yeah.
Yeah, so they're like, they kind of give you the red herring in the beginning that there is a way to dig out through the sewers and stuff, but they're keeping an eye on that, and yeah, the whole movie, it kind of, it just felt like above average intelligence cop, like an hostage negotiator with super smart criminal that's just here, and I got job, and he's like, I'm gonna be 2 steps ahead of you every time, and it's like, and I'm like, sometimes it's like, cool, I would love to root for the person that's 2 steps ahead, but at the same time, it really didn't feel like, they didn't feel that there was any stakes, because everything went according to plan.
Everything went perfectly for the people on the inside.
Yeah.
The cops just didn't want anybody to die, and they did, like, theoretically raise the stakes to make them think somebody died, which I thought was a cool development, because I was like, oh, stuff is heating up, and then they go in there and they're like, haha, pranked. I was like, what?
So, which,
Like, am I upset somebody didn't die?
Yes.
People shouldn't die, but
Hop
also
wants to be the Caesar.
but it also was kind of like, I don't know. It really did feel like anytime there's a chance for something to develop, something else came in to, like, invalidate it. And I think that was kind of frustrating because, like I said, like, Jodie Foster's character, I was like, what is her purpose? And I realized her purpose was just so they could have an excuse to explain the Nazism. And I was like, but you could have just explained it to the viewer instead of having this whole, I don't even know how to describe it. Because she, like, comes in, she's like, I'm good at job, and don't tell me it's just baseball cards. You're wasting my time. I was like, who is this?
Yeah. And it's still, I still feel at the end, like, because everyone hates her that has to work with her. They're like,
Yeah,
we don't
she
want to
just
see
is-
you.
She's just really good at, like, I don't know, yelling at the mayor. Like, but
Which-
then he has the recording of, like, the mayor's just, like, do what she says because you have to.
Yeah. Well, that's the other confusing thing where it feels like there's, like, just don't pay attention to this, because the Jodie Foster's character is like, all right, well, let me go talk to the mayor to go deal with bank boy, and he's like, the mayor said, this is the last job I'm ever gonna see of you, right? And that's what she said. Is like, okay. And then at the end of the movie, they're having dinner together.
All of them. Yeah, because she's like, oh, I'm keeping him quiet by giving him his promotion. I'm like, why is that the solution to the problem? I got him out of my way because I got him his promotion. I'm like, why? He wasn't even in your way. She literally showed up and he went, what is she doing here? And they said, just let her do her job. And she walked in and she didn't even do her job.
Yeah. I'm almost wondering if the first half of the movie was the heist and the second half of the movie was Denzel finding out everything else, but we don't get the inside perspective of the bank. So, which I don't know. It would be a different way. I feel that would kind of raise the stakes a little bit more of that, and just even they could still do their interrogation sides and kind of sprinkle them in, maybe not with all of them,
every single, yeah.
But but just, I don't know, it felt more, some of the stuff felt more like a TV show than a movie.
Yeah, I can definitely see that. And I realize I'm being really critical, and it's not that I don't like it. It's just like it feels like one of those movies. The more you think about it, the more you go, "Why the hell did they do that?"
To quote what we were talking about before we started recording, it's so, what was it? It's just dumb. It's so dumb. It's smart. No, it's just dumb. But yeah, that's my favorite part of that movie. Yeah, but did I see the twist of all? I honestly wasn't looking for twists. I was there just watching and just enjoying and just like, okay, this is like harmless fun. And
yeah, that's fair, because I think I was like, I didn't know what to look for, because at least the service that I watched it on was like, it's a thriller, and I was like, is it thrilling? It kind of just feels like I'm along for like, you know what it felt like to me? It felt like I was watching someone tell me their story of being part of a bank heist, but like 3 times removed. Kind of like as if Denzel Washington's character was like reliving his time when dealing with this, but like I'm at like his cousin's dinner party, so the cousin's telling me the story. Because like it's not that it's not well put together, it's just the way that the story is like put in. It almost feels like moments are like, and guess what? Nazis. I was like, Nazis? So it almost feels like an embellished story that I'm hearing like after the fact, rather than it being, I guess it does feel weird, because like you said, there's moments that feel very like Spike Lee types of like moments in his directorial choices, but his other movies that we've watched feel like you're living in the same time as the characters. But Inside Man, I didn't feel like I was an active participant at all. And I wonder if that's also because it was like almost, when a problem was presented, it was solved very quickly.
Like another thing we're talking about, Ready Player One. I had a problem, so I just did it. Someone gave me the USB, so I'm a hacker. My brain.
Someone
left their Facebook open. I'm a hacker.
But it really, like, when, what is it? He's talking to the cop, and the cop just says, "Don't believe everything you hear." And then Denzel Washington's like, "We've been bugged." I was like, okay.
Yeah. Funny, because that's almost something in one of the books I just finished.
Really?
But it's a little bit more grounded than that.
Okay. But does that make sense? Like, there were some moments that I felt like the A to B, if I were in that situation, I was like, how did we get to C? How do we even get to E? How did we skip all the way to E?
How do we skip to E to get to N? Yeah, I definitely, it feels that just the time that this movie came out, 2006, which is really funny because that's 19 years ago. But at that time, because now I don't think we would have I forgot his name, Christopher Plummer's character, Arthur Case. Like, I don't think that we would have that story, like that side. It would be like ties to like Al Qaeda or
That is mentioned in the movie, though.
yeah. But it'd be a lot more like ties to like Russia or China or something else. Where this one, it's far enough back in time where and set where it's just that's believable, and so I feel like part of me.
So it's kind of like for you, like watching Doctor Strangelove, and it's Cold War is like the main theme. Mm-hmm. So this was 2000s Cold War.
Or just like the whole instance of there are still people alive at that time period and
involved.
Yeah. And weren't vegetables being that
that's one way to put it. Yeah.
Well, the main vegetable died, so anyway. Pause for edit. I'm not editing that out. But yeah, so I feel like that whole thing where it's just, I don't know,
almost time capsule in a way.
Yeah, where for us, and now almost 20 years after, that are just like, because and your reaction to us 20 years ago would have been like the 80s, this, like something around there, the 70s or 80s, like where
the equivalent during that time,
which that's modern, like common day, but it's just this movie, like 2006, that was just like last year. Now I sound like some of the old farts I work with, but so seeing a more modern day take on this, just like and put together, and all of a sudden it was just Nazis. It was like, oh, well, wasn't expecting that.
Yeah, it's interesting because like I know you said like it would be like China or Russia, but also in the current time of things, I guess we would put the Neo in the front, mm-hmm. given a lot of the stuff happening right now. And
there is no spoon. I am the chosen.
But yeah, it's that's why I said like strangely relevant again for that plot twist. Granted, nowadays the rich are doing things very differently.
They ain't even hiding it.
No, they're not even hiding it. They're just, I don't know. That's a whole nother conversation. But
what do you think about the Purge? What do you think about the Purge?
I just joke that like I hope that there are people that take notes from how France likes to protest.
Yeah. It doesn't end well for
I'm not talking about revolutionary France. I don't want people dying. I'm talking about when I forget how recently, but they did something that like hurt the farmers. So the farmers took manure and put it on the office buildings. Yeah, that kind of like.
And then the guillotines can come.
Gasp.
Oh well, we're getting flagged on YouTube. And then they can all sing Les Miserables or whatever. I never watched it.
The musical?
Yeah. Just know the people are singing or something.
And they're sad.
Good.
Miserable even? Weekday sleepies.
Yeah, if anyone's wondering why I'm in a weird mood today, I literally have nothing to do at work. So I spent 8 hours chiseling paint off a tray. So that way...
exhilarating.
Yeah. But I did finish a book and started finally the Jade War. That's been...
Oh, you've been talking about that.
I know. Yeah. I was like, all right, I've been putting this off. Let's start it. And I'm like, oh, yeah. This is good. I'm trying to think if there was anything else. We talked about floating Denzel. I just think it's funny that Denzel was floating in Malcolm X, and then we saw him like superhero float in this one.
Yeah, and like such a big gap of time between movies too, because Malcolm X was
92.
oh, 92.
And this is, yeah. So, trying to think if there's anything else, like...
Yeah, like, not to be, like, negative at all, but, like, it's a straightforward movie, so I don't feel like I have much more to,
I don't
like...
think that's negative. It is.
Yeah.
So, yeah, like, I don't really have anything else to add. It's not like the discussions that we had on the other one. Let's see, was there any fun trivia? Let's see. The diamond ring is a real thing. The movie borrowed it from Cartier for 3 days, and it is valued at $1.5 million.
I would be so anxious as an actor holding that.
Let's see. Trying to learn. There's 7 more. Throughout the movie, Detective Fraser demands from 3 people that they don't lie to him: Arthur Case, Chame, and one of the robbers. All three are, in fact, lying to him.
What? Who would have thought?
Who was Chame?
I don't remember that name.
Let's see. Oh, it was the Jewish guy.
Oh, the diamonds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm just like kind of scrolling through because there's some that are like full paragraphs. Let's see. This is a dumb trivia. No duh, that's the whole point. In the shot when the bus is leaving with the hostages, you can see Steve, Stevie, Chame, and Steve-O sitting in sequence, mixed in with the rest of the hostages. Like, yeah, because that's the point.
That's the point.
I hate trivia sometimes.
Did you know there's actors in the movie? Yes, indeed, I did. Thank you.
Here we go. Here's a fun one. At the end of the movie, Fraser's girlfriend is reading Gotham Diaries, a novel co-written by Spike Lee's wife, Tanya Lewis-Lee. Tanya.
See, that's fun.
Yeah, that's a fun one.
I would have never known anything about that.
And then we have other ones. While robbers and hostages were wearing paint suits, the robbers wear sunglasses, where the hostages wear sleep masks.
I honestly didn't pick up on that.
Me neither, but I'm just like...
I wasn't looking that hard, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, this is a cameo. So, the news reporter for the Channel 2 News and for New York One, they are both actual news reporters. Like, that was their job.
Oh, good for them.
Yeah. Oh, here we go. Here's 30 more trivia things that didn't have... Oh, I didn't pick this up. The pizza that the police gave the robbers has the name Sal's, a reference to Do the Right Thing.
Oh, that's fun.
I didn't pick that up.
Yeah, I didn't pick that up either.
Let's see. Spike Lee says that at the time making this movie, he was not aware that riddles had been a major part of the plot. Oh, okay. That riddles had been a major part of the plot in another thriller set in New York City, Die Hard with a Vengeance. He said if he'd known that, he would have cut out the riddle scene in the movie. Yeah, so just doing a quick... Oh, well, okay, well this, you know what? Here's a good one to end on, because this leads us into the next movie. The main music theme was reused by Spike Lee in the Charlottesville sequence of Black Klansman. Yeah, there we go. I said it right.
I'll pay attention for that theme song again.
I don't remember the I don't remember the theme. So, but it's in there again. let's see if I go to YouTube and just type in Inside Man. Was that the Chaya? Let's see. Oh.
I was trying to see if you were going to try to pronounce it, because I wasn't going to try to pronounce it.
Okay, so if that's used in there, that's a very distinctive.
Notable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's a YouTube comment for that. After all these years, I still have no idea why they chose the song for the intro, but I'm happy that they did.
It's a good song.
It's it was fun. I'm just sitting there, I'm like, oh, I'm vibing. This is cool.
Yeah.
I need to turn down my volume.
No music video, though. Yeah, you were right. You did message me that.
Yeah, no dancing music video. But anyway, I believe that brings us to the end, unless there was anything else you wanted to share.
I don't think I have anything else specific to add about this movie other than, like, I guess it's interesting where a lot of the other movies I feel like we've been watching, we have a lot of discourse. Haha. Some pointless, some not.
Yeah.
That's the name of the podcast. This one just kind of felt like, yeah, sit, vibes. I'm happy no one used actual guns.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of guns, and I was like,
What movie? There was another movie that was like that. I can't remember.
That we watched, or just?
There was one where it was like the guns are fake. I can't remember what it was, because I remember it was like, oh, that's just like this, and now I don't remember what it was. It's not that important though. But
yeah, I got really scared for all the hostages, but then I remembered all the hostages were getting interviewed later.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
They deserved it though.
They really underplayed how much rubber bullets hurt people, though. They can still break ribs.
They deserve it though.
The hostages?
Yeah.
Oh.
They were jerks. Some of them. Not all.
Not all of them.
Yeah. Oh, I now remember something I was gonna mention earlier. When you're like, was I expecting the twist or anything? Not that I was expecting the twist, but I did notice that the guy, when he's like, I'm having a heart problem, and then they're like, and they send him out, I'm just like, okay, that was an interesting choice. Like, get that guy out of there. Kind of leading back to, like, it was kind of like a little bit of foreshadowing. It was like, even by accident, we're not having deaths, because it's like, if they absolutely didn't care, they'd been like, whatever, dude, it's not our problem. It's about sending a message. I have money, and I have
follow the ring.
But yes. So anyway, that is it. Next week we'll be closing the Spike Lee section. By the way, in the middle of this, I was just curious, and I opened up the YouTube, and yeah, there's a bunch of new viewers on this. So welcome if you made it this far. And yeah, let us know what you're thinking and all this stuff. We do have all the directors picked out for this year, but hey, if you guys have a director, like, it pretty much, it's not set in stone until the month before. Well, I guess after May. But yeah, but if there's ones that you're like, hey, it'd be cool if you guys did something like this, let us know in the YouTube comments. I don't know how to check Spotify comments.
I know for a while we like figured out how to like look at reviews and stuff, but that was like
yeah,
as far as we got.
Yeah, so we're much here, just like this movie, on vibes, but a lot less riddles. And
a lot less riddles.
And a lot less Nazis, I hope. But anyway, that is it, everybody. We will be back with Black Klansman next week. And until next time, we'll talk to you later. Peace.